Hi, Genki Call here. Finally getting back to you with the promised information about why we ended up in the hospital back in December. And it's kind of a long story, but I'm going to do my best to go over this quickly enough anyway, so it's not boring. So it's been over a month since we left the hospital, and so the emotional aspect of what was going on has lessened quite a lot. It was really, really difficult at the time, but so this is about my youngest. She's in her mid-20s. She's autistic. She does not speak, so she could not tell us what was going on, and she has a seizure disorder. And things were just getting worse and worse and worse. Every day she was losing her strength, and it was getting to the point where she couldn't stand for very long, and she'd just go down and she wouldn't have the strength to get up, and it was worrisome at this point. This was the beginning of November, and her doctor increased one of her meds and said, how would you feel about her being admitted to the hospital so we can do an MRI, so we can do a sedated EEG and monitor her for a while? And I said, that's probably not going to work. That's going to be really difficult because she shut down, and I was really worried about that. But I took her home, and I was thinking about what the doctor said and thinking, you know what? It doesn't matter how hard it's going to be on her and on me. We're just going to have to deal with it because she's getting worse and worse. And then from there, it just all started going downhill. I called her doctor the next day. I said, let's do it. We're going to deal with it. We'll figure it out. And so the doctor said she put in a referral for OHSU, Oregon Health Sciences University, which is one of the best in the Pacific Northwest hospitals. And it's like, okay, great. She said, if you don't hear from them within the next week, let me know. And so I let her know. A week later, I still hadn't heard from OHSU, and it was right before Thanksgiving at this point, and I didn't hear anything. Nothing was happening. And so went to the next week. I figured, well, they're all busy because of Thanksgiving. You know, everybody wants to do their holiday thing. So I went another week, and she's getting worse and worse and worse. And finally, I got a hold of her doctor again and said, look, I haven't heard from OHSU. I don't know what to do. She's getting worse. And the doctor said, just take her to the hospital and to the emergency room. I said, okay, do I take her to my local hospital? Do I take her to the emergency room at OHSU? And of course I had to wait for an answer back on that, and so I did. And then from there, that's where the story picks up with the vlogs that I was doing, documenting everything that was going on at the hospital, what we went through. But I keep saying she was getting worse and worse. I'm not giving you any details, so I'm going to do that now. I was just getting you up to speed on what sent us, the process that we had to go through to even get her seen to begin with. But what was happening was she was losing her strength. She couldn't stand for over a couple of minutes at a time. She got to the point where walking, she would she'd lose her breath, and she'd shake, and she'd shake, and she'd do the seizure thing that I am accustomed to seeing as well at the same time. And she'd go down, and I wouldn't be able to get her up. She'd just lay there. And she would be to the point where she couldn't even lift her head. And I have rescue meds for her. I have rectal diazepam, which is difficult because she's so heavy. It's kind of hard to roll her over, and 100% impossible when she went down in the bathtub. She was there for a full hour. I know the time because I had to leave her there in the tub. She wasn't able to go anywhere. I knew she'd be okay. Ran and grabbed the phone, called my husband, and checked the time once we finally were able to get her out of the tub. And it had been an entire hour. So, I mean, she just laid there, just shaking and unable to get up. You know, I'm imitating. Probably not very well. And you can't see my hands or the rest of my body. Sorry, I'm not giving a great visual on that, but it was horrifying. We couldn't get her up, and she weighed so much we couldn't pick her up. When she would go down, even both of us straining with all of our might, we couldn't deadlift her. She's too big. And when I took her to the hospital, and when I was doing my vlogs, I was saying she was like 250 pounds. Found out she's actually 270 pounds. That is 50 pounds heavier than I thought she was. Or 50 pounds heavier than she had been the last time we weighed her. And it's just trying to get her... Oh, God. Okay, I'm getting stressed again. Just remembering it, sorry. So when she would go down, she'd be down for up to an hour. Previously, when she had weakness episodes, it wouldn't last more than 20 minutes, and she could still walk. She could still do things. She was unsteady, but she could still do things. At that point, it was she'd go down. She couldn't even lift her head. I think I already said that. Sorry, I don't mean to repeat myself, but she'd go down right before she got to the bed, for instance, and her arms would be on the bed, and her head would be on the bed, but her face would be pressed against the bed. If I wasn't there to turn her head, she wouldn't be able to breathe except directly into the mattress, and no, we don't want that. So that is what prompted us to finally get her to the hospital. Just took her to the ER, and it was, that's where the story picks up with the vlogs. But it was horrifying. It was horrifying. And I do have another update for you. We've since made some changes. I'm going to make that in another video because this is a prequel video to going to the hospital, and then the other one will be follow-ups since we took her to the hospital. So that's where we stand for now. I will have another update for you hopefully soon. Please, I was about to say please like and subscribe, but don't subscribe unless you want updates on this kind of thing. There will be autism specific videos coming up. This is an Autism Corner video. The reason why this all applies is because seizures and autism tend to go together, and that is a very common thing. So anyway, we will see you all soon. Take care. Bye.